Anyway, there's these. Yeah, of course, these are all things that belong to my children. I was born in Brooklyn, New York, with my older brother and then my sister. Okay, we lived there for about 2 years, and then we moved to Closter, New Jersey, where we stayed there in Closter till 3rd grade. We moved from there to Haworth into a big house. I mean, gigantic. This house was fabulous. My father was an accountant in the city. He was a brilliant man. Then my father passed away when I was 13. It was very hard on everybody. And then my mother was a single mom. So then I went to high school at Riverdale High School, in a combination of Oradell and River Edge. And I graduated in 1965. My best friend, Pat Burns, he went to Vietnam and within 1 week was killed. And I enlisted into the Army on April 4th. Okay, and from there I went to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, to go to medic school, and that's what I was. I was a combat medic. In that Battle of Bao Bang, I was awarded the Army Commendation Medal with V device for valor, and also I was awarded the Purple Heart for wounds received in battle. So anyway, I went to college, and went to Rockland Community College. And then I turned into a hippie. I had long hair, big, like a mane, big beard. I can't grow nothing now. I used to wear these overalls just every day, no underwear, just overalls and sandals. They were advertising Woodstock, you know. So I decided to go with my girlfriend at the time. Her name was Beth. But, you know, we slept under the stars, in the rain, in the mud, and it was one of the greatest experiences I ever had. Well, I'm going to say the drugs did flow, and anyway, okay, moving right along, I came out, I got, you know, I was like into art and antiques and this and that. I owned Saddle River Limousine for 32 years. I started it because I needed a car and I needed a job. So, and then I bought my first Cadillac. And I called or wrote these people, and they started using me. And, you know, I drove until and then I got a second car, then I got a third car, and I would have the cars painted a certain way. They just looked very sharp. So I ran that business, up to about 70 cars, and then came the Gulf War. All the cars were repossessed. It was a very bad time for me. I was trying to run a limousine service with no cars. And finally, you know, I bought another one, and I bought another one, and, built it up again. And that went on for a long time, and, I made a very good living. And, yeah. And so I did that for 32 years. And then I retired. In between, I got married, had 2 children. Now, there's a lot of themes here about girls. 2 little girls, and it's because I have 2 girls, Sarah and Rachel, and that was a holding hands. This is another place. But here they are. This is a Renoir. I think it's called 2 Girls in the Field. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is my ex. Well, this is my friend. Her name is Inna. I met her in Ukraine, and we dated a little bit, and then I had to come home. And now she lives in Beijing. And she has invited me there just to come spend a few weeks with her. But I just don't know if I can make it. Tatiana, she a beautiful woman. She's actually 42 in that picture. And now she's 50. And I'm still in touch with her friends. This is my friend Olga. And of course, this is Natalia. I met her before she became Miss Bikini 2011. But then, I was still hanging out with her after. But a beautiful, beautiful girl. She's now 25. I believe she was like 18 in those pictures. Anyway, and she's 26 now, I guess. And I'm about, let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't need to do that. And I think we'll just hit the light. But, if you can tell over here, if you see that this room is done beautifully because of all the crown molding and stuff. It's very formal, English looking. My ex-wife, she fell out of love with me. She had her own problems from childhood. And so things happened and we got divorced. Well, after the divorce and living in this big house, I had a friend who was divorced also, and he moved in to help me with the rent. He spent a lot of time at a strip club, I guess you call it, where he had met a beautiful, beautiful Russian girl. One weekend, she asked if she could bring her friend Tanya up. I said, oh, sure. We have the extra bedroom, blah, blah, blah. She comes up here and she walks through the door, the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. She had blonde hair, blue eyes, those high cheekbones, and those full lips. Oh, gorgeous. And a body? She was, just in perfect shape. Immediately, I fell in love with her. And basically, she lived in Brooklyn. She was the sweetest girl I ever met. She taught me many things. And since I am 1/8 Ukrainian, what I did is that I really liked Tanya, but she was a little too young for me at the time. And so I decided to go to Ukraine to look for a wife. And so I took a romance tour. They have these socials at night. So at the first social, there was like 350 women, and then it was 23 guys. And that's where I met Tanya, another Tanya. But I had seen her before in the catalog, and I had, sent an invitation for her to come. I started to learn to speak Russian, and I studied night and day. That was then when I was 60. I learned to speak, read, and write Russian. And I still retain that power today because I speak and read Russian every day. I don't write it. I actually made like 10 trips, stayed there. Each trip I stayed about a month, a little over a month, 6 weeks sometimes. So it was an experience in my life, and I would really like to get back. I would really like to go back there, but to find a more mature woman. Someone in there, I'm looking between 40 and 55. Yes, 40 and 55. Of course, I'm just a youngster. I will be 70 in October on Halloween. But when I look in the mirror, I don't even know who I am. Sometimes I don't know who I am, and sometimes, who is this handsome devil?
Handsome young man.
But I don't look like someone who's 70. I'm fortunate to have hair, no gray, and I don't know, I'm pretty healthy. It's like I'm a young man trapped in an old man's body. As I firmly believe that my experiences in Vietnam have stunted my emotional growth, and I still feel like that kid there.